Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. 'Tis you, must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. Yes, I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But when ye come and all the flowers are dying, and I am dead, as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me, and I shall hear though soft you tread above me, and oh, my grave will warmer, sweeter be, and you will bend and tell me that you love
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the 6th and sadly final episode of our Twilight sessions, where we've been going live for One City, One Light over the last 6 weeks. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been absolutely amazing. We've had a beautiful rendition of Danny Boy by Sorcha Martin, and we've also been listening to some really wonderful harp music from Stephanie Liney. Now, I'm going to go and talk to Sorcha a little bit about tonight's performance, but just before I do, if you'd like to ask Sorcha or Stephanie anything live on stream, do just pop a comment in and I'll do my best to read them out and ask them both. But it's been wonderful. I really, really enjoyed it. The past 6 weeks have been amazing. And Sorcha, you nailed that, yes!
Hi, thank you. That was so much fun.
Oh, thank you so much for doing that. I know so much work went into that, and there's so much behind just, what is it, 3 minutes of music there?
Yeah, it's such a powerful song, and it's definitely one of my favourites.
Tell me a bit about how Danny Boy, because there's a big story behind this really, isn't there, and why you wanted to do Danny Boy.
Yeah, so this was actually one of my granny's favourite songs, and she passed away a few years ago, and I sung it at her funeral. So it's really special to me and my family. It's just a shame she never got to hear me sing it, because I know she would have loved it.
She would have, she would have definitely loved that. That was amazing. Yeah. So chuffed it all came together, and that was brilliant.
I know, and I've never sung with a harpist before, and it was such an amazing experience. It's one of my favourite instruments, and it's just beautiful. It's a privilege.
It is. I know. It's ridiculous. I'm going to go and chat to Stephanie in a minute, and then find out a bit more about that. But it's ridiculous. That's such a beautiful instrument, right?
I know. It's just, it always sounds so beautiful, and the way that Stephanie plays, she's just amazing. She's just such a talented musician.
You can tell her herself in a minute.
Yeah, is there anything she can't play?
No, it's really annoying. I know she sits there, and I'll go and talk to her in a minute, but she sits there and goes, I can't remember it, and then it comes out like that, and you're like, what? How did that happen?
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about, because I know you've said to me over the past sort of day or two, that you're a person that likes to bounce off people, really, aren't you? And I know lockdown's been hard for all of us, but how have you sort of found that, and how have you coped with that?
Yeah, so I have realised in the lockdown how much I work so much better with other people. I can work on my own, but working with other people just drives me, and coming to this venue it's made me feel alive, I haven't performed because of COVID, and yeah, it's just so exciting. It's been really difficult for everyone in the arts industry, so it really is just great to be out singing again.
I know, honestly, you've really uplifted us all, because, for the last year it's just been, there's just been 4 of us on the team doing the live streaming, and all of a sudden you've come in, and actually Zach's joined us today. It's not really in the audience, because we don't really have an audience, but just to sort of see what's going on, and just having a couple of extra people around makes a massive difference.
And the same for me. I haven't been around this many people in a long time.
It's really weird, right? I know. We do exist. We are still here. But tell me a little bit about singing and acting, because I know this is obviously, it's not just your passion, this is what you do.
Yeah.
When did it all start?
Well, I went to college and I did performing arts there, but ever since I was little, I went to the Stagecoach and things like that, and I don't want to sound like a cliche, but it's always kind of been there. I know so many people say that, but without really knowing when I was a kid, I knew I wanted to do that. So I studied performing arts at college, and then I studied acting at the Arts University Bournemouth, and I think that's where I started to become professional, and it was being shown the ropes and how the industry works and what you need and everything like that. So counting the years, I would probably say since 2018 I've gone professional, because before that it was study.
Sure.
So that's how long I've been doing it professionally.
But there's so much that goes into it, because we've talked about doing this, and you've come down to put it together, and just being able to come in and know all of that. There's so much work that goes into that, and I really appreciate everything you've done.
It's me that's grateful. Thank you so much for having me. It just feels so good to perform again. I feel
wonderful.
really lucky, and this setup is just amazing. It's so sophisticated. It's a beautiful venue.
Well, we do our best. Yeah, and I'm going to show the venue in a bit actually, because it is really quite a special place we're in today. I've got a final question for you.
Okay.
Right? If you had a dream role that you could have as an actress, what would it be?
You know, I've always wanted to play a policewoman in a series.
I really wasn't expecting you to say that.
Yeah, I think I'd be really good at it. I just have that, you know, type of personality, I think, where I'd just love to be in like a car and chasing a criminal or whatever.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to
I think
that.
we should do like a trailer for the next Livestream series, and you can just we'll fulfil that for you.
We should, most definitely.
Sorcha, thank you so much, honestly, for seeing you tonight. Really enjoyed it. Real privilege to have you tonight, and yeah, absolutely, you nailed that. That was brilliant.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I'll come back and chat to you in a minute, actually, with Stephanie, because I'm going to go and find Stephanie and chat to her a little bit about tonight's performance, because I know that a huge amount goes into what she does, and she spends a lot of time actually mixing up the music, and it's really there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes that you don't really see, and to be honest, I don't really see. So it'd be really good to actually go and find out a little bit about Stephanie. So Stephanie, come and join us. And I just wanted to ask you.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, you've got to take your headphones off. They're not
Quite
snifty, they're
warm.
just unclipped there. That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got a little tail now.
Oh, there's it. Stephanie, tell me, there's one thing, because the second piece that we did tonight was a piece called To the Mackerel, and that's one of my personal favourites, and you kind of get probably a bit fed up of me requesting it.
Yeah.
But I really love it, and I was a bit intrigued to know a bit about To the Mackerel, because what's it all about? What's it mean?
Basically, I really like eating mackerel.
There's nothing more to it than that.
But they're also like really nice fish to look at, and it's quite fun if you try mackerel fishing. Absolutely useless at it, but it's quite fun. I like being on a boat. And it's just about like, it's almost like there's a signpost that says to the mackerel, like to the beach.
There they are.
There they are. There, because you can see them on the like things on boats, can't you? Those things that beep with the radar.
Oh, what, like
well.
the fishing things?
Yeah.
Like that fishing drone that we've got our eye on.
I really want, if anyone would like to sponsor us and get me a fish drone, I'd be your best friend for life.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't think, can we put a GoFundMe page up for fish drones?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome, let's do it. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your harp as well, because it's kind of like, it's such a beautiful instrument. Mm-hmm. And if anybody's been following over the last year, they'll have noticed that you've got several different types of harp. And I'm going to come to that in a minute, actually, about the different types of harp. But I know that you name your harps, and this one has a particular name.
This one's called Cynthia.
Cynthia. Why is it called Cynthia?
Just because I felt like it's just the name that came to me. It's just Cynthia.
So what are the other harps called then?
So my Kamak lever harp is called Florence, because it looks like a Florence. My pilgrim lever harp's called Hilda, after St. Hilda at Whitby Abbey. And my little lap harp, which people haven't seen on the stream, unless we go up a mountain, which is the one we would take, is called Cherry.
Oh,
okay. It's made of cherry wood, and it just looks like it should be called Cherry.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I've got another NAF one, which is called Aoife.
Aoife. Oh, I don't think I know Aoife.
It's hidden around my grandmother's.
Is it? That's why I don't know it. Because the Celtic harp and the pedal harp are obviously very different instruments on account of, I'm assuming, are they?
Yeah, the technique's more or less the same. It's just, I suppose they are quite different. Like the lever harp's quite lightly strung. It can be nylon. And the pedal harp is really heavily strung, so that you have to pluck a little bit harder. It's obviously bigger, and you've got all the pedals on the bottom there to change the notes, whereas the lever harp is smaller, and you've got the levers at the top hence lever and pedal.
So what do you prefer playing? Do you prefer playing the pedal harp or do you prefer playing the Celtic harp?
It depends what I'm playing. So if I'm playing like Irish music, folk music, I prefer playing it on the Celtic harp. If I'm doing a wedding, I prefer playing it on the pedal harp because it's bigger, so I don't have to worry about the sound not carrying. And I quite like, if I'm playing like a harp sonata or something, the pedal harp is definitely
That's the one to go to, is
the one,
it?
yeah. And I haven't played anything like that on the stream because I can't memorize them. I can't memorize like 16 pages.
Do you know, I was going to ask you, how on earth do you go about memorising that music? Because, like, note for note, you're playing. I mean, I've got it there. You know, I'm following it. You know it. How do you do that?
I learn the tunes by ear.
Right.
So some of the tunes that I play, not just tonight but in the past, I've never seen the written music for.
Really?
So I don't know what they look like written down. I obviously can guess because I can read music. But I found that if you learn something by ear, you know like how everybody learns differently, don't they? I'm someone who learns orally, so I learn. So like, for instance, I can remember for GCSE history, I remember everything the history teacher said.
That's impressive because I have no idea.
He asked me to read a chapter in a book, I would have absolutely no idea. By the end of the chapter or the next day, I wouldn't have remembered what I'd read, but if he said something, I'd remember it.
Really?
So I remember, I learn orally. So if I hear a tune, after a couple of goes, I remember it. And if I see it written down, it will take me forever to learn it. So what I do is if I'm sight reading it, I will try, if it is written down, I want to learn it, I will play it, maybe on the tin whistle or the recorder, and I will, as I'm doing it, I will sing it in my head as though I'm learning it by ear, so I'm listening to what I'm playing. And then I just work out what the chords are to go underneath, because I know my music theory so well that I just know I just know instantly what the chord is. It's brainwashed.
It's amazing. I mean, yeah, Sorcha just says, is there anything you can't play? Well,
yeah, the guitar.
The guitar.
I cannot get my fingers into the right shape.
Well, it's definitely, honestly, thank you so much for playing such wonderful, beautiful music again tonight. It's been a real pleasure. And I think actually what we should do is, because for the first time on the stream, we've actually got both you and Sorcha together. I reckon we should go and chat to Sorcha and you together, because we haven't been able to do this before. So let's go and chat to Sorcha. So. Don't forget, if you'd like to ask Stephanie and Sorcha anything about tonight's stream, or just anything in general, to be quite honest, do drop a comment and I'll do my best to catch them and read them out. If I do miss them because we go off air, we'll try and answer them by writing back to you. But yeah, so don't forget to do that. That'd be brilliant. Sorcha and Stephanie, thank you. Yes, like I keep saying thank you. But I wanted to say, Sorcha, you said that you've never sung with the harp before, right?
Yeah.
What's it like playing with the harp, and how did you manage that?
It was just a really, really beautiful experience because it's one of my favourite instruments and it's actually something I've always wanted to do. So, yeah, thank you for...
You're welcome. You were really easy to accompany.
Really?
Yes, I knew exactly what you were doing. It was really easy to follow you, so that's great. And also I had Richard's drone underneath, which sounded...
I was going to ask you, do you prefer playing with other people, like,
Yes.
or accompanying, or do you prefer playing solo?
Do you know what? As a cello teacher, I am so used to accompanying on the piano for all their exams and everything that it's just really nice to accompany. I do enjoy accompanying. It's just really nice to accompany that's not an exam piece. It's just really nice because like in the building we're in, the church choir, I have accompanied them in the past on the piano and the harp. And that's been great fun, especially at Christmas. So I've only done choir, so I haven't actually accompanied a soloist. So it was much easier.
It's the first time for both of us.
Exactly.
I would never have guessed, honestly, that's awesome. We're hitting a lot of firsts on the stream tonight. This is good stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
And in the past, I've done stuff with my friend Hannah. She's been on the recorder, and So she's been playing the recorder and I've been playing the harp. But we haven't done that. We're missing that. Maybe Sorcha can come and join in with me and Hannah when lockdown's over.
Definitely.
Do it.
Medieval dress on.
That was something I was going to ask you. Was like, have you got any? What are your plans for the future? Have you got like new pieces you're going to put together, or what?
Yes, we have been discussing, actually. We do have quite a few. So there's the Parting Glass, which is one, we have to do that one.
We have to do that one.
Yeah.
She moved through the fair.
Yeah, she moved through the fair.
And we've come up with loads of ideas and done nothing.
It's kind of the distance thing that you kind of got going. It's pretty hard.
COVID,
and COVID.
We've been discussing, haven't we, over like the internet, and obviously like you can't. It's really hard. I know Richard showed us both how to put ideas down into a computer, and then both of us, I think, got really confused.
Yeah, like, I'm never going to understand the technology.
Oh, one day I'll get you there.
It's sort of like me in a math lesson, in one ear and out the other.
Give it a year, you'll be fine.
So as soon as COVID's over, or we've all been vaccinated,
yeah, one of the two.
I think there might be an album in the making.
Yeah, definitely.
I think so.
And it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be excellent.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
do a whole
this.
Livestream of it.
I have to say that actually, one of the things that I've noticed, like over the sessions that we've been doing, is I feel like we've developed a bit of a style in these sessions. I know that at the beginning you wanted it to be like a space, like your mind space, didn't you? You wanted it to be like a space you could enter and breathe together. And I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm playing with you, but to be quite honest, this is, I'm just sort of supporting a little bit. It really does feel like that's what you've kind of done. And Sorcha, you coming in tonight is kind of put that all together and linked it in for me. So I feel like you've kind of really got that going there.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see like what we come up with. It's just really exciting because you're both just like super talented musicians. So you are. You are.
You heard it from Sorcha.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to just finally ask you, because I'm super interested to understand a little bit more about this, is I know that you keep posting on your Instagram stories these sheep.
Oh.
So let's chat sheep.
The sheep.
It's got to the point, hasn't it, where every time I see a really cute sheep on Instagram, I send it to you.
Yeah, they are so cute. What's not to love? But it kind of started with, in the lockdown, I kept filming the sheep at the bottom of my parents' garden. Not in the garden, because that would be kind of crazy, but in the farm just behind our house. And I just kept sort of putting folk songs to it on Instagram and just filming the sheep, and that's where it started.
Like every time I went to Instagram, I was like, oh, Sorcha's filming more sheep.
It was the most entertaining thing in lockdown, I tell you.
Well, we found that giant one, didn't we, at the Salisbury Museum? We were like, there's a giant sheep.
We took a photo of it, sent it to you. Also, yeah, you got your mum to knit us a sheep for Christmas.
Yes, so that was a little knitted sheep to join your flock of sheep you already had.
Got knitted sheep.
I've got a few questions actually to ask you. Obviously, we've actually had a lot of comments tonight, which is really, really great to see. Finbar actually says, no, hang on, he says, I've just read it here. He says, how do you achieve the reverb on Sorcha's voice? Well, this is a question to me. So I'm reading it out like it's a question to Sorcha. You have no idea.
I was about to say, I don't know the answer to that.
The answer, Finbar, is actually we're sending it through a guitar pedal that I picked up. So we're sending it off and back through a guitar pedal. It's got a bit of shimmer reverb on, which I thought was quite cool. So that's the answer to that. David Pickett says, that was crazy. Best live stream I've heard yet from you guys. Well done. So that's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, do you know what? I'm going to struggle to read out all the comments, but it's fantastic. We've got Francis SP says, Queen in capital letters. I don't know who that's aimed at, which one of you, or maybe both.
Yeah,
Definitely you. where he says, whoa, Sorcha! Yes. And Alex Digby West gives a heart emoji and says, love this. Malcolm Wilson says, peaceful. And Grant Price says, what a great way to relax, unwind at the end of the day. Thank you to Stephanie and Sorcha. So people really appreciating this. So thank you for everybody that's commenting in. Tom Caton says, superb. David Pickett, I'll take credit for this one, says, seamless key changes, C to D to E flat. Yep, I was quite pleased with that one as well tonight, actually. There's little nuggets of, oh yes, I nailed that, I got it. I was just going to say, what else have we got? Finbar says, another question, who wrote to the mackerel? And that is definitely your piece, isn't it?
I wrote it, didn't I? And then we got married in this church.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know that we're married.
Oh, you've given the game away now.
We're like socially distanced 2 meters away from each other.
I didn't know that. This is so special.
So we got married in this church, and you were really hush-hush about it all. Well, not about the wedding, obviously. We both planned that. It wasn't like a surprise. But during the signing of the register, you'd taken to the mackerel and you had arranged it. So your best man was playing the piano. My maid of honour was playing the recorder. And the whole choir, you put lyrics to it and then put some amens in the middle to make it seem religious.
Yeah, I think I got away with it.
And I was like, I know this tune.
The look on your face was like, it just sort of clicked, didn't it? About halfway through, you're like, oh, that's what you've done.
I was like, So, yeah.
David Pickett, actually, this is a question that I will say. He says, how do you transport the harp around in a special harp case in the back of a van?
Well, I'm going to admit it doesn't fit in my car because I don't know why. It should fit in my car, but it doesn't seem to go in my car because the seats don't go flat properly. So I use Richard's car, which is a Sorcerer, so it's got plenty, 7-seater car, plenty of space, and it has. I literally bought myself a specialised trolley, and you can actually move it. It's got wheels on the bottom of the harp itself, so you can wheel it around like small distances, but then it's got really heavy-duty cases. We just clip it on the trolley, don't we? And we just wheel it. The hardest bit is getting out a front door.
Yeah, it really is.
Because we've got steps, and they're overlapping steps, and and then I always forget to move my car, so that's the hardest bit. But once you're on the flat, it's really easy to move.
The look of people as you wheel it down the road.
Yeah,
although, mind you, there was that time that I wheeled it down and the wheel fell off the sack truck and it rolled off down the road and some bloke just went, oh dear. Cheers, mate.
It didn't help you.
He just went, oh dear, bugger, that's not very good, is it?
I remember that, yeah. That was with a lever harp.
It's like, not going to help then, no? Big harp.
Yeah, I think the harp weighs 35 kilograms or something. It's something like that with the case on it. It's quite heavy. It's not something you lift.
I've got a question actually. I don't know who can answer this best actually, but Lorna Evans says to play without music is impressive. I know most Irish folk songs are passed down orally. Is that common for harpists? So actually, probably a question for you actually, Stephanie.
Yeah, because a lot of it is in the oral tradition. A lot of the music, like a lot of the famous harp music, Irish harp music, though, was written down because it was basically banned from being performed, and there were only a few. And then it also just got out of favour. You know how things go out of fashion, and so before all the great houses in Ireland, and the same as sort of in Scotland, had all, and also over here, England had a big harp thing, but we sort of lost it around the time of Henry VIII. But they literally, I think it was Bunting wrote all the tunes down in the 1800s, late 1800s, and there were just a few old harpists left who'd learnt stuff by ear. So actually, a lot of it has been written down, which is just as well actually, because we would have lost it forever. And I'm sure there's a lot that's been lost. And there must be stuff that's gone into other things, like quite a lot of hymn tunes are really old, aren't they?
Yes. Well, maybe that's something you guys can explore and see if
time
you can...
travel.
Yeah, time travel. Well, I know that you're big on history, and I know you obviously you've got you're super interested in because of your heritage from Ireland.
I'm really interested in all the sort of the heritage of where I come from and my roots, and that's why I feel I just have such a strong inkling to do folk music, and there's something so like a homey feeling about it when you sing it. I can't really explain.
I'm sensing a live stream tour to Ireland.
Yes. Yes. Giant's Causeway. Here
yes.
we come.
Up for that. Oh, well, guys, thank you so much again tonight. Absolutely magical, really was. And you know, the response from people is kind of it's not just me saying that, so I really do appreciate that and what you've put on tonight, so thank you. Yeah,
well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And talking to history, actually, what I wanted to do, just because this is our last live stream session tonight of the 6 that we've been doing for the Twilight sessions, I actually wanted to take you off and just show you a little bit about the venue that we're in, because it is actually a really stunning building in here. It's huge. It's a really big space. It might not come across on camera because we've put all the lights on and everything, but actually the space that we're in it's the biggest church in Dorset by a long way. And I just wanted to take a moment actually to say a huge thank you to Reverend Mike, who has let us come into the church and use it for the last 6 weeks. Huge thank you, Mike. Without your support to do this, it just wouldn't happen. And I think it's super important to support the creative world and people in the arts at the moment, because it is so difficult. So yeah, from all of us here, we're really thankful. And I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit the other side, because if you've been watching the Twilight sessions, you'll have kind of seen a sort of studio look with pianos and harps and cool lighting. But in here is a really beautiful space. It's a small chapel called the Holy Name Chapel in St. Peter's. And it's actually one of my favourite spaces within the building. It's just really calm, peaceful, tranquil, and just looks really great, to be honest. I'm going to go historical on you for just a moment, because this church was actually built in the 1830s. But in about the 1870s, they actually decided they needed a bigger church. I mean, who doesn't? So what they did was they actually built a larger church over the top of the smaller church and then removed the small church from within it. And you ended up with St. Peter's today, which is why the building is so big. Now, I consider myself as pretty high tech and kind of up there on tech, but I have no idea how on earth you go about doing that. And the mind kind of boggles when I think about it, because we don't kind of do this kind of building anymore, and I don't know. I'm kind of a bit lost for words when I think about how that was how that was gone about. But yeah, it's a really beautiful space in here, and also really rather beautiful, as you'll see behind me. There's a really nice altarpiece, which is kind of sort of a hidden gem, I would say, in Dorset. So I think it's a fantastic place to come. And talking of hidden gems in Dorset, if you've been following us over the last year or so, you'll know that we have been going out and we have, in inverted commas, been rediscovering our local area, which is basically an excuse for us to kind of go out, get out of lockdown and just basically, just be unleashed into the world, really, to be quite honest. And we've been to all sorts of places. We've been to Abbotsbury Castle, we've been to the Aggleston Rock, which was quite an adventure. If you don't know the adventure too, we'll tell you all about that on a different stream, and you can see the comments about that. We went up to Kimbridge Bay, which was an amazing day, and we've kind of just been really getting out and doing basically going to what we consider our favourite places and doing live streaming. The cool thing is, and we're really excited about this, I say I'm excited a lot on the stream, but today I really am very excited, because in about 4 weeks' time, we are going to go 5 hours up the motorway. We're going to fly out of Dorset, and we're going to go to a place called The Deep, which is one of the UK's largest aquariums. It's amazing. It's in Hull, on the Humber Estuary. The building is ridiculously iconic. If you're from up there, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And we're going to be going into the nose cone of that building. I can't wait to tell you and show you all about that. And that's going to be such an adventure, and I'm really looking forward to it. So do make sure that you keep following us on our page, and probably next week we'll release more details about what we're going to be doing there and what that's going to look like. If you're not interested enough in the nose code itself and the deep, just so you know, they've got 18 million views on a YouTube video all about a seahorse giving birth, which I think is pretty cool. So if you go and look at Google the deep seahorse giving birth, it's a pretty cool video actually. I love it. So stay tuned, and we'll give you more details all about that. But actually what I wanted to do now, just before we end the stream tonight, is just to say a huge thank you to some of, to all of the team, to be quite honest. We're not a huge team, but outside the building is our producer Toby, and he has been live streaming and producing the stream every week from outside, all remotely done. He rocks up every week. He's put hours of work in, and I think we can head over to a camera clip of him waving and saying hi, so that would be really cool. So Toby, thank you so much for all of the hours you've put in to make this happen. It's brilliant, so really appreciate that. I want to say a huge thank you, of course, to Sorcha and Stephanie, our beautiful musicians tonight who have performed so wonderfully. So thank you once again, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
And last but not least, I also need to say a huge thank you to Sam, our cameraman, who has arms of steel. I don't know how he does it. Literally no idea, because that camera weighs an absolute ton. But Sam, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for all you've done and put into the project over the year. It's been quite an adventure. But do make sure you keep following us. We are on Twitch, so you can subscribe and follow us on there. We're on YouTube, so you can hit the subscribe, the big red button that everybody kind of now knows because of COVID. It's not anything to do with COVID, but you can just hit and subscribe. Obviously, follow us on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We are also on Facebook, and we go live on Facebook whenever we do that. So make sure that you like our page and keep up to date with the events, because it's going to be quite a journey over the coming few months. But otherwise, from me, Richard, from Sorcha, Stephanie, Toby and Sam, have a really good evening. From all of us here at One City, One Light, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you very soon. Good night.